Hi, thank you for attending my little PowerPoint lecture. So, my name is Ronald Sullivan.O.H, and this is my Mythbusters PowerPoint presentation. So, I figured it fitted to take the Mythbusters logo and put it on the front. Sorry about the lack of design, but bear with me. Um, can your intelligence change depending on the day of the week? It's a debated topic. Some people claim some things. Some people claim other things. Um, Sometimes it's one of those things that's left up to interpretation. Does your IQ change depending based on the week? While some might say yes, others might say no. I think it's more complicated than a yes or no answer. So, day by day, while a person's IQ can be fixed at birth, it's not a certainty. So, obviously, this is what learning is. Um, Normally, people do not stay fixated or stuck at a certain intellectual point. Normally, whenever people live and experience things in their lives, they either tend to pick things up or acquire new skills while leaving old skills behind. But diet also plays a very important role in mental clarity as well as mental health and development, um, along with hydration as well. It's one of those things that people forget about. Your body's connected. Your microbiome in your gut is responsible for about 40%, don't quote me on this, but 40% of your, I'd say, mental well being, per se, to put it in a blanket term. Exercise or a lack of exercise can stunt mental development as well, especially in young individuals. Um, Bruce Lee, I listened to his daily routine, and his mornings consist of sprints because he says, or not sprints, but a long, fast paced jog, which he states calms his mind. So, exercise can be a pivotal role in people's lives, especially whenever they're finding that they need something to just push them a little further. Emotional triggers. So some people state that they have a small jump in IQ or intelligence during an emotional time. So, for example, this is most likely due to the fight or flight response. This is inherent to every human and every animal, and usually this results in a response that is direct and leads to a helpful or desirable result. Though the opposite has been said of many people, some people actually claim that themselves become much dumber, quote unquote, when in stressful environments. So it's not a one size fits all scenario. Obviously, people are different, but further tests will need to be made to determine what types or archetypes are among the populations. But my opinion is no, there's no evidence to prove that you get smarter or dumber day by day without any outside changes or changers. For one to grow smarter, you must learn something, and the opposite needs to occur for you to get dumber. The only way to become dumber is to either sustain a head trauma or stay at an intellectual place forever, which is obviously impossible. Um, People normally don't become dumber for no reason. Um, there has been small case studies about ChatGPT, and it's quote unquote making people dumber, but it's not so much making people dumber. It's kind of like you have a muscle that you're not using, and your muscle is going to atrophy a little bit, which that muscle being the brain. If you don't use critical thinking as much as you should, you're going to forget how to be a critical thinker. So it depends on the individual to take the responsibility of being a critical thinker and to increase their own intelligence through learning and growing. But my experiment, the way I would find out whether some people get smarter or dumber solely based off of what day of the week it is or what time it is would be to get them to take an IQ test every day. That's it. That'd be my first test. Um, then I would average up all the tests through for that first week, and then I would see if there's any spikes. Which my prediction or my hypothesis is that this is not going to cause any IQ spikes. Um, just for the sole reason of nothing is changing. Another test I could perform would be ink blot tests to see what direction um, the test subject uses, what they go through, um, and what that ink blot test tells me about them as a person. So, and then we would do that for a week to see if their mind changes any, and to see how they react to these different pictures of anything really. After the 2 weeks, I would do another. Um, I would gather all my information to see what I have found, and like I had said before, um, it's a person-to-person scenario. This is why you need to keep the same person doing these tests. Um, because if you change a test subject or have too many test subjects, your data can become convoluted and your tests will become non-conclusive, which nobody wants a non-conclusive test. Um, but this data will vary person to person, so no 2 week test is going to be nowhere near enough to determine whether this has legitimacy or not. But from my hypothesis and speculations, I do not believe that people get dumber or smarter just based off of what time of day it is or what day it is during the week. My name is Ronald Sullivan, and thank you for listening to my lecture.